Okay everybody, today we are going to take a walk through a nearly magical place. It's called Hemlock Gorge. It's a very unique little bit of ecology here in northern Maryland. It's far more akin to West Virginia, and I even liken it to a little sort of miniature version of the Pacific Northwest. It's very old, moss-grown, large hemlock trees. Of course, it cannot hold a candle to the redwood forests and whatnot of the Pacific Northwest. However, I cannot walk there. I can walk here because this is right down the street from my house. So today we are going to take a little stroll, and I'm just going to probably just show you some highlights as we go. It is way too much and way too overwhelming to try to walk through this whole gorge, and especially listening to me ramble on the whole time. So we are heading upstream, which will give us the nicest views of all the waterfalls that we are going to be seeing. There is some amazing flora. With any luck, we will get to see some fauna as well. I've already seen a few interesting insects, if you want to count them. I don't know if you noticed that, but a red-tailed hawk just flew by. I've seen some toads that I've not been able yet to identify. So the world is waking up. It is definitely springtime, and I'm loving every second of it. So come along and we will see Hemlock Gorge. This is Baltimore County, Maryland. Alright everybody, this is another nice little fairly easygoing section that we can stroll along. I'm not showing you any clips in any particular order. I'm not trying to give you an actual walking tour of the gorge per se, but rather just to look at some of the more scenic passes and walks. The whole gorge itself is less than a mile long, so it's not really big, which is one of the reasons it makes it such a jewel. It's just this tiny little isolated spot. But here's some more interesting rock structure. And shortly we will be coming into the mouth of the gorge, because remember, we're heading upstream and not down. And there's a little bit of a plaque and a sign. I think it's been vandalized already this year. It tells you a little bit about the gorge and what you're seeing, so on and so forth. But this is actually property of Baltimore City watershed, and this river we're walking alongside is called the Gunpowder River, and the Gunpowder River was dammed up to create Prettyboy Reservoir, and Prettyboy Reservoir is one of the three main suppliers of Baltimore City's drinking water. So believe it or not, this absolutely amazing, gorgeous place we're walking around in is not only owned by the City of Baltimore Department of Public Works. We are less than 20 miles north of downtown Baltimore, and we actually are in Baltimore County, and we are at the very, very top headwaters of where Prettyboy Reservoir begins. So I'm going to go ahead and call this another little segment, and then we will pick up around the bend and we'll do a little bit more chatting about what we're seeing, and in the meantime I'll intersperse some more beautiful scenery for you. So sit tight, we're not done yet. Still heading. So as you may or may not notice, looking around, there's an awful lot of trees down. This is spring of 2015. Last winter was a rough one, and apparently we lost a lot of trees. So this is my first time back here for the year. So I am just finding out how much things have changed since last year. Let's see if we can go on down here. This is actually just a small feeder stream that comes in from the side. And this here, of course, is the Gunpowder that we've been walking along and making our way up. So we will continue on. And I'll continue to bring you some beautiful scenery. Alright everybody, we're getting now towards the top end of the gorge. It's still somewhat rocky and gorge-like, but it is definitely flattening out. Now, what we're getting ready to start walking into is where the river has actually cut down to and through the bedrock. And you will start to see the rocks in the water are actually smoothed over to some degree and have these channels and grooves cut into them from the eons of water flowing over them. So our trail continues up that way. Once I get up out of the stream, we will continue on our walk.